Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is another edition of Hong Kong House of Cards, Mage Edition tonight, where the original three kings of the Mage Society have received invitations from Michael sent off invitations to Arthur and Jason to go meet with them at the Observatarium. So I'll have you guys intro first, and then I'll intro Arthur, so go right ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's up to me first. Lord, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, guess the best place to have this would be at the library there at the observatory. Well, the personal one that's shared between the only three mages still in that little consortium is three here. So he'll have some chairs set up aside, or couches or whatever, just an assortment of furniture. He'll have some on a coffee table there, um, some hot water ready, and some different packages of tea to choose from. So I'm not going to assume people's tea choices. And I guess sitting in one of the chairs, quietly reading and waiting for everyone else to show up.
I guess I'll go next. Jason will walk in wearing his usual casual clothes. He'll just nod at Michael, sit down. So, what's up?
At this point, Arthur will walk in. He'll leave his bags at the doorway before walking in because he doesn't want to overwhelm the area with the smell of weed. He'll sit down in the third chair, looking a little tired, a little haggard, but it's kind of hard to tell with the pale skin and the silver eyes. He'll run his fingers through his silver hair and say, "So how's everybody doing?"
Could you repeat that real quick? I missed it.
Oh, so how's everybody doing?
Oh, you know.
Michael will take the book he's reading and close it softly and set it to the side. I'm not quite sure yet.
Can I just say that's probably the smartest thing I've heard from anybody lately?
It's pretty good. I'm living with the constant fear of my ex-girlfriend being back in town.
Yeah. I'm still working on a way to fix that. Johnny Buccarati's in town. He's going to help us figure out what she's doing and how best to breach the barrier.
Which one was he again? I feel like I know him.
He was the Giovanni that showed up before Mildred left, before Mildred was deposed.
Old mom with me? Have came?
Yeah. He's a member of a clan called Giovanni. I don't know what he's affiliated with as far as Vampire Society, but I know he's here to help us out with the whole Wraith thing.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. I guess.
Arthur will actually go through the tea selection, and he'll pull out what looks like Earl Grey. If you don't mind, he'll look at Michael.
I kind of got it ready in case any of you wanted some.
Thanks. So he'll take the tea leaves and put it in the diffuser, then pour the hot water on top of it. Make it a little stronger than it should be, and then we'll stamp out the diffuser, clean it, and put it back before he takes a good swig of that hot black tea.
Jason just like looks at a tea bag, looks at the cup and the teapot, and then just looks at Michael. Help. I've never done this before.
He'll kind of shake his head a bit, and he'll set out a cup and ask him which that he would like. There's probably Earl Grey, oolong. There's probably some other different things like English breakfast.
We'll go oolong. Oolong sounds good.
He'll call it a special occasion. It's all loose leaf, so he'll take out put some in the strainer there and set it up, pour the hot water over the loose leaf, and then presto, oolong.
Thank you. He'll just
Lemon,
kind
sugar, cream. He'll kind of just like set it off to the side for you if you want to indulge in one of the three.
I've never really made it before, so.
There was an old hermetic in the Greenwich Chantry that loved Earl Grey tea and had to be made a certain way. And I swear there were times when he would use forces on the apprentices trying to make the tea just to make it too hot so it would burn the tea, so that they'd have to make it over.
What a dick. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no, I was just laughing at something. I'm sorry. That was out of character.
It's okay. So what's going on with you, Michael?
He lets out kind of a deep sigh and tries to think of how to gather the words before he looks between the two of them and says, I went to the museum this week because I hadn't been yet, and hadn't expected this to happen, but apparently looking to the dreaming, Shar saw my other half and made his findings somewhat public. I was able to kind of deflect it, but I think there was more than that piqued the interest of one of the shifters there. And while they don't know and don't have proof,
Arthur's actually doing this in character, so.
I don't know. And this time, I don't really have anywhere to run.
As far as I know, there's only one member of the House of Swords that knew your actual identity. And I just found out that he's missing. Apparently Charlie went into the Umbra trying to find Owl. I've got Eagle looking for him. But I'm worried that I'm not going to find him in the best shape. I swear this chart person is just going to.
I don't think he meant it in an ill fashion, but nonetheless, the company it was around arose suspicion.
Yeah.
He's kind of been at the
He
epicenter.
seems very ignorant of a lot of things.
What were you gonna say, Jason?
He's kind of been at the epicenter of a lot of shit lately.
Yeah, a lot of shit that I'm having to deal with, and now
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, hey,
Go ahead.
I dealt with a lot of the shit during the Infernalist thing. Now it's your turn. Next will be Michael's. That's how this works.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I swear, 2 or 3 more crises, and I'm gonna just say fuck it and go back to the moon. All right, Michael. Here's the thing. I will do everything in my power to protect you. What happened to you was not your fault. What happened with everything has never been your fault. You were a kinfolk mage working with the guru, and this shit happened to you. And if the spirits, and he's going to look up and say, if they have any grace, they will make sure that this does not turn into a bad thing. However, I also know that from personal experience that Gaian spirits have less than favorable things to have about you.
The spirits, they mostly just stay away. However, I don't know the people that are here now. All the shifters I knew here are dead for the most part. Aside from, Bosco and a few others. I can't really trust that they won't be any different from any other guru.
And that's the big issue right now is what I've already got more happening in this city than I've let on. There can't be more infighting. There just can't. The technocracy is going to wipe us out before we have a chance to clear the air between everybody. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Tiger. Jason.
We might wipe ourselves out before they even get a chance.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure that if Smith is capable of watching all this, he's laughing.
Mm.
But there's too much to deal with. I just got done warding Adriana's museum to be the new meeting place. I've had to make the node underneath the museum a joint venture, which joint protection from all 4 sides. Initiate Williams will be ours. Adriana will be the guardian for the House of Staves, and I've talked to Waxaneros. He's got somebody he's going to try to put forth, and I still need to talk to Dartmouth on it. If this comes up, and I'll go speak to the spirits if I have to. And that's Uka key to Julia. I may need a spirit scene later.
Hi, Julia.
Then I will. If I have to walk over to the bond and cut my own arm off as a sign of trust, I will do it. Because I'm going to be fucking damned if any more of my mages are going to die. I'm going to be damned if you get punished and killed for something that was forced on you. It's not right. It's not fair.
Yeah, we faced a nasty death since we all came to this city. Some of it apart. They're not gonna fucking get him.
Yeah. Of course, it doesn't make anything easier that since Char burned down, the graveyard is now completely spectre-ridden. That he's got specters and a boot party of wraiths following, trying to catch him. That there's a Kuei Jin that's akin to Jolie that's hunting him as well. Oh, and I also found out from Jolie, there's a Malfian in the corner of the city that's on its way here.
Fuck.
I'm guessing all the Wraith issues with Sam and the Nightmare Realms that have spawned up in the graveyards. And now this has drawn the attention of possibly the most powerful Wraith creation that has ever existed. And Dartmouth has somehow managed to convince himself that it wasn't Shar in the videotape, that somebody's framing him.
Well, if seeing one of us do it on the videotape, you would think that first that would be your own written.
Well, depending upon the mage who did it, there's a few mages I could be convinced were that stupid. I know it's not exactly charitable, but it's true.
Well, guess we can only hope for the best in these things.
Yeah. If Charlie were here, I'd be able to work through him, but
A little impossible.
yeah. I've developed a decent relationship with Walks and Arrows, but he still thinks of all mages as Karen Eaters. Oh. I would say lay low. I know that's usually not an issue for you, Michael, but try to keep away from shifters and try to keep away from Shar and his little buddy, Henry.
I really hope that they're not involved with that. They seem like all right people.
Well,
Do stupid things.
well, upon meeting him, Shar did express an interest in becoming the executioner for his people, saying that, what's the best way to put it? All life must end, and he should be able to do it. He also told Dimitri that he thinks that there should be no other races but the Fae, and everything else should be destroyed and broken down. I heard that from Dimitri, and apparently he and Dimitri don't get along, so who knows. But the dude was speaking some straight up Thanatos shit, and I could not jive that. Excuse me. He's gonna sip his tea a bit.
You might want another cup of that when you're finished.
Yeah. He's going to get the diffuser. He's going to actually drain the cup. Then get the diffuser, put the Earl Grey in, pour the tea over the diffuser, stir it, make it stronger again, and then clean it back out and take another sip of his tea. Is there anything else going on?
Not that I can think of. Like I said, I've mostly been here. I've been out and about, but more so than in the past months, but not as much as I probably should be.
Right now, it's understandable. People being withdrawn. There's too many battle lines being drawn. Too many people doing stupid shit, and it coming back on everybody. Riker's dead. Styles is missing. Charlie's off on a suicide mission that I may not be able to pull him away from. Oh, I did find out from Becker that Adrian guy that, was a ghoul, left, came back a vampire, and threatened to kill Becker. She killed him. She had somebody kill her.
Oh, good.
Well, apparently he
Never
was
really-
under some... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Never really ran into him.
You're not missing anything. But according to Becker, he was under something called a blood hunt. I guess that's what they do when people fuck up so bad that they order them hunted down and terminated.
I think I ran into Adrian once. He wasn't that bad, at least to me. He actually listened to me, so.
Well, I didn't really know him. I mean, he mostly dealt with the vampires. According to Becker, the first time he showed up, he not only claimed to be a vampire when he wasn't, he claimed to be a member of a faction known as Anarchs, and demanded not only a position equal to hers, but a portion of her territory.
That is kind of bullshit. Yeah, okay.
That's kind of a dumb thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that. Yeah, we have a tentative plan on what to do with Sam, but we need to get the Wraiths back focused on Sam and Chloe. Jolie's got a...
Do you think
An
they'd be
idea.
satisfied if he's found to have done it, that if Dartmouth handled it?
I don't know. I mean, we're talking about the same little boy Wraith that was so pissed off at what was happening to him. He put himself back in his own body, crawled his way out of his grave to help us out. And now he and his friends that are still out of body have a personal score to settle with this guy. From what Jolie told me, when a Wraith loses all of its personal effects, it goes into a kind of berserker mode and gets sucked into oblivion. It then comes back with a desire for vengeance, destruction, chaos, that sort of thing. That's what happened to all the Wraiths that were in that graveyard when all of their, I think he called them tethers, were destroyed. So you can see how other Wraiths would find that disturbing. So I don't know if they would be satisfied with Dartmouth handling it as long as justice was done, or if they want to personally put boot to head. Jolie wants me to create some new tethers that can be used to entice Ping and his allies back towards the common goal of destroying Sam. That reminds me, you're the resident expert on all things regarding knowledges and lore. Do you know anything about Wraiths?
A bit, but I doubt it'd be much more than what Jolie already told you, because he's the one who taught me. I don't care to be taught that way again. I got a little field trip.
Well, maybe Johnny can help as well. What I'm trying to figure out is he wants to find these old items and transform them into tethers. He seems to think that with my knowledge of energy transfiguration, as far as primal energy goes, that I'd be able to infuse them with the power that they need to have them be effective. But the thing is that I don't know what it would require to do that. I know Faye get the glamour, Guru get their gnosis, we get our quintessence. vampires have their blood, which I have no clue and no desire to try to transfigure at any point. Same with the Easterners. I know it has something to do with chi, but the Quajians still suck blood, and that's unpleasant for me. So I need to.
Hemophobe.
What'd you say?
I never took you for a hemophobe.
I'm not. It's just I don't want to watch anybody drink blood.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah. No, you've seen what I've had to do to do transfiguration of primal energy, so which is Arthur cutting himself open, drizzling it over the tass, and enchanting it. So yeah, I'm not shy about blood. I just am shy about people trying to drink it while I'm there. If you can disguise it, all the better. But
Gotta say, I'm not surprised by much anymore.
yeah, there's not that much that's surprising anybody.
I mean, 3 years of med school is pretty fucking crazy, I gotta say.
Did you ever get to? You probably got to cadavers, right?
Yeah,
That must have been creepy.
all of it. I'm not a huge fan of the smell of formaldehyde.
Yeah,
So,
I don't blame you. Anyway, we've got. I know I've got stuff to do.
I'll see if I can find some books in the library to help with the what you were working on with the whole rate situation. At least
Okay.
maybe we can get one of those problems off the table.
Alright.
I'll see if Unicorn knows anything or can point me to someone who does.
I don't know if Unicorn knows anything about race, but if he tries to point you to Owl, don't go.
Okay, I kinda guessed that.
Yeah. I think I've got. Johnny might know something about it and be able to help me with it, but I've got to go talk to Dartmouth first. I've got to make sure that all this that's going on doesn't interfere with the plans we still have for the city. This has to become a safe place again, and as long as Smith is in his fucking tower, we can't do that. Oh, I've got Bosco staying at my house until he can find a place to live on his own. So if you come by and there's a bear sleeping on the floor or in my bed, it's Bosco.
Gotcha.
Arthur's going to uncharacteristically down the rest of the tea and set it down. Do you want me to help you clean up, Michael?
I'll be fine.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get going then. I finally made something for you. He's going to pull out a baggie of pills and hand them over to you. These will mirror my blunts, but will not get you high. They're safe. They're perfectly safe.
I appreciate it.
No problem. It's taken me a while to figure it out, but I finally did. At a point, he'll walk back over to the door, then stop and look back. You know, I probably would still be stuck on the moon, or worse, if not for you two. Now let's give you guys a smile and he'll leave.
I guess Michael will start picking things up and taking them back to clean up.
Jason will help for a little bit and just kind of, I guess, reassuringly put his hand on Michael's shoulder and just look down like, they're not gonna fucking hit you. I'll refuse.
I appreciate it.
And he'll just
I guess that's... Oh, wait. Here. Sorry,
he'll-
Tiger.
No, you're good. Hangouts are a thing. Interruptions. He'll just start walking out after that. So you're like, I'm gonna go talk to Unicorn.
Alright.
So that makes two people that need Julia. Because Unicorn's technically her responsibility now.
Yeah.
Alright. I guess we'll call it there.
Alright, do we want to shift scenes to one of the other
If
ones?
you want to do two birds, one stone thing, I have no problem with that. I mean,
Yeah, sounds good. Since we're all here.
I'll go ahead and we'll do Arthur and Dartmouth. So on his way out the door after picking the stuff, Arthur's going to text King Dartmouth. Can we speak?
sure.
Where can I find you?
Same place as usual.
As long as your dear friend, not dear friend, as long as your bartender quits trying to get me to drink again, we'll be fine. So he'll head over to Indulgences. Once they're sure he's got no weapons, he'll walk in, look for the bartender and say, I need to speak with Mr. Dartmouth.
Eros will begrudgingly just politely lead him to the back office room and leave him to his own devices.
All right. Arthur will head to the office and knock on the door.
Because I feel like having a little flourishes with him tonight, the door opens on its own. He's still sitting at his desk.
Arthur will walk through the door and close it behind him. Keep making sure that he keeps facing him. A little bit of prestidigitation.
Sure. I have to occasionally have some fun. Is there something I can help you with?
Yes. Not sure if Rose was able to tell you before she died, but I finally finished the communal energy source underneath the museum.
An energy source.
Right. May I sit?
Of course.
He'll take a seat and place his hands in front of him. Back during the Infernalist issue, we found a node that was going to be corrupted by human sacrifice. It was one of the vampires' bitch boys. We stopped him, saved the vampire's bitch boy, and Adriana bought the land around there so that it can't be affected anymore. We built the museum. I began working on ways that the energy in the node can be best used for everyone. So I came up with a plan. I told Rose about it, but I'm guessing she didn't expand on it much before she died. We mages can take the pure raw energy that comes from a node and use it for ourselves, or we can transmute it into usable energy for other supernaturals. I believe you call yours glamour.
That would be correct.
Well, I've been able to transmute quintessence into that form, as well as transform TAS, which is our solid form, into the solid form of your own energy as well. I've also done it for the Guru using their energy source as well. I've been able to train this ability to an initiate by the name of Williams, who is currently on station in that room, able to fulfill the needs of anybody who needs access to it. Unfortunately, I cannot change the nature of the node itself one way or another, but I can change the energy's nature. I've also finished warding the museum the same way that I warded the Emerald Mother in the past, to where it's a true safe haven within the city. Now, I've talked to Prince Becker, I've talked to Waxaneros, and they've all agreed that a representative of each house should be present, and they are working on their own representative. I wanted to ask you if you had anybody you wanted to put forth as representative and guardian of the note.
Hmm. He seems to think for a second and starts putting papers aside as he goes through his mind as what kind of person would be suitable for such a important station. And he finally settles on a name. Well, considering it would seem that his current station has been, his current post, not station, his current post has been liquidated for the time being, I think it would make most sense that Sir Harcourt, William Harcourt, would be there.
I agree. I've heard of his fighting. I've actually seen the videotape. Not of what he was able to do in your realm. I'm sure what he can do in your realm is much more impressive than what he does in the mundane world. But he seems a very adept combatant and seems to get along very well with everybody else.
Indeed. Also, I have heard rumors of, but I can not confirm such, that there's a full service there. He may be of, I guess the way to put it would be professional use as well. And he gives that just kind of that quick, like, that smile that people give when they feel that they're clever. Lets it fade.
He'll kind of give a chuckle with that. Yes, I'm familiar with the full service available there, and I will speak to Adriana to ensure that his talents are not at all wasted wherever he is.
I, however, also understand that it is a vampiric establishment, and that if I, regardless of its Sir Harcourt or anyone in the future, that certain measures will be taken as to banality with that establishment.
Yeah, I've put some of the old school wards in there too. The doves of peace are flying throughout the museum, keeping people calm. As far as protection from banality, I'm not exactly sure how I could do that. Maybe when I am able to get a little more practice on the sphere of entropy, I could probably do something to inure your people from that most dangerous of diseases. Not like physically, but more like a ward.
I appreciate it. I don't mean to sound harsh. I understand that you're a busy man and that you're dealing with many things in this city. But for future matters like this, I would appreciate a more timely disclosure of information.
Oh, yeah. I wish I could have gotten... For one thing, I wish I would have known that Rose hadn't told you. I thought since you were next in the chain of command that she would have told you.
You'd be surprised sometimes how politics can leave one in the dark.
Yeah, I guess I'm just used to everybody agreeing with everybody, and that certainly has changed a lot since I came back from the moon.
As for the investigation, if it helps in making sure that other individuals don't take rash actions, I would be most grateful to inform you that Baroness Desdemona is on the investigation and will be speaking with Sir Flickerflame as soon as possible on the matter.
I appreciate that. And were you able to find out if anything was left at the scene?
They have not met yet. I'm simply informing you that that is to transpire.
Okay. All right. I'll get in touch with Des and see what she can tell me. Um, Johnny seemed to think that it was a. He seemed to think that if they had left anything behind there that had been used by the individual who had done it, that regardless of the actual who they believed the identity is, that the item would be allow them to track that person. Similar to, I guess you could call it a sympathetic link.
It would be like if I left an item behind. Yeah, you could use that as a catalyst for finding it.
That's what Johnny seems to think. Seemed quite adamant about it. I think it has something to do with how emotions imprint. For example, Jolie told me that one of the reasons why all the wraiths in the graveyard went Spectre was because all the things that they cared about were buried with them. So all those went up in flame. And when that happens, a wraith loses all connection to this world and becomes a embodiment of shadow. Oh, I also heard from Jolie that there's a Malfian on his way to the city.
Malfian. I'm not familiar with that term.
I've only seen one once, and I could not stand the sight of it. It was a gigantic embodied specter walking through the Shadowlands. All the wraiths around were running in terror from it. I think the best way I could liken it to you, gigantic monstrous giant, but in the Shadowlands, but with the ability to extend its reach if it desired into the Grey World. Or no, he wouldn't say that. He'd say in the mundane world.
Speaking of the mundane world, do we have any reasonable reaction that we can take to at least get the mortals and the technocracy off of our backs so we can resolve the other issues?
Becker's working on it. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of people that have access to the media or the police, but Becker does. And I'm going to probably have to owe her a few favors to try to get her to spread this influence. But she's doing the best she can. Fortunately, the technocracy is taking a let the mortal police handle it instead of rolling out their own special brand of pain.
That is good to hear.
On the plus side, I hear that some of the members of my house are working on anti-technology-based defenses. Serena told me something about a EMP grenade. So here's hoping that works.
I don't have a lot of pull here as I'm new to the city, but any effort that Ms. Becker is currently involved in, I will see what I can do to help.
All right. Well, I've taken up enough of your time. I've got a meeting with a Giovanni, so I'll talk to you later, King Dartmouth.
Another time, then.
He'll stand up and, not being rude, of course, he's not going to turn his back to him, and we'll just leave that way. Close the door behind him and head out the door. So he'll send a text to Becker, which I'll go ahead and text to Julia. and we'll go from there to where should we go next? If Julia's wants to handle Jason or me talking to the spirits, I guess that'd be the next thing.
I don't think right now. She seems like she's about had a rough day at work and probably out of it for now.
No problem. We'll go ahead and kill it now and work on the other stuff that we have the need to. So I'll go ahead and kill the scene. Thank you, players, for playing. We didn't have any viewers, so if you're watching this later, thank you for watching. This has been another edition of Hong Kong House of Cards, where everything keeps spinning in a death spiral that hopefully we can blow ourselves out of. Have a good night.